All right, what's up, everybody? It's been a long time, but I just had something on my mind that I needed to talk about, and it's the whole Kofi Kingston thing. Pretty much this whole black WWE champion debate thing. I want to try to put it to bed, or at least put my 2 cents in everything. Um, so first of all, congrats. It was well overdue. Um, I was one of the people who actually thought that Kofi was already a Hall of Famer before he even won a title based off of the guidelines. The man has been in the company for a long time. He's always been a good worker, never got himself into trouble, family man. Anything you can ask a performer to be, that's pretty much what Kofi was. Now, he wasn't the biggest guy, he wasn't the most charismatic guy, but he was charismatic enough. He definitely got himself over in his own way, especially early on with the whole Jamaican accent. And then when he finally got the opportunity, which he wasn't supposed to get the opportunity to compete for the WWE title, that's where he took the ball and he ran with it. And now he's the champion. And that's really, really great, especially for coming from me, who's black, and finally seeing someone who is of my demographic winning the company's top title. And this is one of the issues I've had is that people has been debating with me and a lot of other people saying that, oh, Booker T, he was the world heavyweight champion, Mark Henry was the world heavyweight champion, knowing that it's not the same thing. It's a completely different title. And the World Heavyweight title was always considered to be the secondary title in a company. Now, you can make the argument now that the WWE title is kind of the secondary title and the Universal is the top title, but it's not as clear cut as it was back then. I still think the WWE title is the top title, and especially with the history. So it's just really, really annoying to have people trying to debate with me and other people in the wrestling community, and it's still going on even after he won the title. People are trying to take this moment away from us who really wanted to see this moment, and we finally got it. So people just need to stop. People need to know the difference, and to be honest, if you're one of those people, you sound incredibly stupid. I hope you realize that. And you kind of sound a little racist too, because you're kind of making some excuse like, oh, well, Booker T, he was the 5-time world champion. Like, okay, he was the five-time WCW champion. That's a completely different title. There's a difference. And I'm not just saying Kofi's the only one who deserved it. A lot of black men have deserved it. There's no excuse why Shelton Benjamin wasn't WWE champion. He came from that same class that WWE likes to tout about. Oh, he came with the same class as Brock Lesnar and John Cena and Randy Orton. And all those guys have been champions multiple times. Why hasn't Shelton Benjamin been champion by now? Now he's in his early to mid 40s. That time is come and gone for him now. He's barely promoted. Some people forget that he's even on the roster. So I'm not just saying Kofi was the only one that deserved it. He should have been WWE champion, Shelton Benjamin, definitely. MVP, most people don't talk about this. MVP was great back in like the 07 era. 06 when he first debuted on the main roster to 07, that period. I could argue that he was the top heel on SmackDown. He was better than Edge, in my opinion. Like of course Edge was pretty great because he was always in the title picture. He always had the title or was competing for the title, the World Heavyweight title. But MVP was another guy. He should have been WWE champion. Of course, Booker T. Now with Booker T, I don't know when would have been a good time period for him to be WWE champion based off of where he was on the roster during his run. But he definitely deserved it, and I'm glad he's a 2-time Hall of Famer. There's not a lot of 2-time Hall of Famers. I think him and Rick are the only. Him, Ric Flair, and Shawn Michaels are the only ones so far. So that's pretty cool. So all I'm really saying is with this Kofi thing is that I hope it opens the door now. I hope now that we've seen someone like Kofi Kingston, who no one thought who would be WWE champion one day, not even 5 years ago. If you told me he was going to be WWE champion, I wouldn't have believed you. So even someone like Kofi Kingston could be WWE champion. This should be opening the doors now. I really hope it does. And to be honest, now that Kofi's done it, he is he is a headliner Hall of Famer. I know most people probably ain't gonna agree with me, but he should headline his own Hall of Fame whenever he gets inducted 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. He should headline that Hall of Fame whenever he gets inducted because this is huge. And in my opinion, he's the first black WWE champion. And the other thing I don't like is when people bring up The Rock. This is the other one that really makes me upset. Is when you bring up The Rock, yes, he's partially black, 25% black, whatever. You can't take that away from him. But not only the company looks at him as Samoan, The Rock himself, he has a big old tattoo with some Samoan tribe on it. And the only time he really acts like a black man is if he's starring in a movie with Kevin Hart or something like that. Other than that, he's always considered himself to be Samoan. He's talked about his Samoan heritage. He very rarely talks about Rocky Johnson. So I hate how people try to throw that in your face, saying, "Whoa, The Rock was actually the first." Like, "Oh, there's been WWE champions. Look at The Rock." Like, why you keep trying to use The Rock? You can't use him. He's disqualified. And even if you want to use The Rock, even if I give you The Rock, why was it that it was only one? Why couldn't it have been more? There was plenty of men, plenty of black men. Now I'm not saying to give every black man that comes in the company the WWE title, but there has been several black men who have been in that company who should have gotten a run with the WWE title. Ahmed Johnson, for example. Now he wasn't the best guy, but I guarantee you, if that guy was white, he would have been champion like 3-4 times, and you know it. He probably would have been built up like another Goldberg or something like that. In fact, that's probably what they would have done. They probably would have made a Goldberg before Goldberg even existed. So that's the other thing I hate about this debate. So I just really hope that this opens the door now and this changes everything. Changes everything for the company and a new direction. We might see a heel turn from Big E. He might become WWE champion. He might be the next WWE champion. We don't even know that. Now, I know he's injured as of this video, but Kofi might have a little run with the title. So, we don't know that. And then finally, what I want to say is that moment, him winning the WWE title at WrestleMania 35, that is the greatest moment in WWE WrestleMania history. I don't know if it's the greatest moment in wrestling history, but it's definitely the greatest moment in WrestleMania history because what it does, it's what it did. It literally told many of my peers. I was crying when it happened. I was that relieved because all the years of me arguing with people about this, it's finally been validated. And originally, I always thought that the WrestleMania 20 main event with Chris Benoit, him winning the title, him standing with Eddie, I thought that was originally the greatest moment in WrestleMania history, but we can never talk about that because of what Chris did. So this replaces it, and it replaces it even way better. Even if Chris didn't do what he did, I still would put this over it. It's the greatest moment in WrestleMania history, hands down. Most people won't agree with me on that, but that's what I think because of what it means to the black community and to everyone who's watching wrestling who is black. That's all I got to say, guys. I don't know when I'll be back, but I do want to put this video out. Thanks for watching. Comment your thoughts on this situation and take care.